Welcome. Let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. Do you feel invisible? Do you feel like you are screaming, but nobody is listening? Do you feel unappreciated, undervalued, and overlooked? Today, we change that. This is not just a video. This is your wake-up call. The world doesn't respond to your good intentions, your hard work, or your kind heart. It responds to one thing, and one thing only: value. And today, I'm going to give you the blueprint to build it. Here is the truth that nobody wants to tell you. The truth that might hurt, but will also set you free. People in this world don't treat you based on your heart. They don't reward you based on your hard work. They don't pay you for your time. They don't care how much you've suffered. They don't care how many hours you put in. They don't care about your good intentions or your pure soul. They respond to your value. They listen to your value. They respect your value. They pay for your value. They follow your value. They make space for your value. They remember your value. They fear losing your value. And that is not cruel. That is not unfair. That is simply how the world works. That is the game we are all playing, whether we like it or not. And you can either complain about the rules, or you can learn them and win. So if you feel like the world is ignoring you, if you feel like people don't take you seriously, if you feel invisible in rooms where you want to be seen, it's not because you're useless. It's not because you're unlucky. It's because they don't see your value yet. And whose job is it to show them your value? Whose responsibility is it to build that value? Yours. Only yours. Nobody else is coming to do it for you. Value is not something you're born with. It's something you build. With daily work, with discipline, with silence, with improvement. And once you raise your value, once you become truly valuable, once your presence carries weight, nobody can ignore you. Nobody can replace you. Nobody can treat you like you're nothing. Because your value speaks before you do. Your value enters the room before your body does. People will pay attention. People will respect you without you asking for it. People will listen without you begging for it. People will make time for you without you chasing them. Because in this world, you don't need to fight for space. You don't need to scream for attention. You don't need to beg for respect. You just need to become so valuable that space is automatically made for you. You can cry about being ignored. You can complain about being undervalued. Or you can quietly, silently, relentlessly become too valuable to be ignored ever again. You can become so skilled that they need you. You can become so knowledgeable that they seek you. You can become so excellent that they remember you. You can become so rare that they treasure you. This is not magic. This is cause and effect. The fact that you are here right now, the fact that you are willing to invest your time in yourself, that already tells me something powerful about you. It tells me you are not satisfied with where you are. It tells me you know deep inside that you are capable of more. It tells me you are ready for change. So today, I'm going to give you the principles that will transform your existence if you apply them. Rules that are not soft. Rules that are not sugar-coated. Rules that are not for lazy people who want quick fixes. These rules are for people who are tired of being average, exhausted from being overlooked, and ready to build an identity so powerful that the world will have no choice but to respect them. Take a deep breath. Release your excuses. Let go of your old story, because this is the beginning of your transformation. Let's begin with the first principle, the first foundation of this new identity. This one alone, if you truly understand it, can transform every relationship in your life. Stop being too available and start becoming valuable. Let me ask you a simple question. If something is always easy to get, do people value it more or less? Less. Always less. This is not opinion. This is human psychology. It's the law of scarcity. Imagine you walk into a jewelry store and there's a diamond sitting on the floor by the entrance. No security, no glass case, no spotlight, no price tag, just sitting there like a piece of trash. What would you think? Your first thought wouldn't be, "I'm lucky." Your first thought would be, "It's fake." You'd assume it's a worthless piece of glass, a child's toy. Even if it were a real, flawless $1 million diamond, your brain could not treat it as valuable. Why? Because availability kills respect. Easy access destroys perceived value. When something requires no effort to obtain, we assume it has no worth. Now imagine that same diamond in the center of the store. It's in a locked, reinforced glass case. It's resting on a black velvet pillow. A single, intense spotlight is shining on it, making it sparkle. There are alarms, sensors, and a security guard standing nearby, not even looking at you, just watching the diamond. Now what do you think? You think it's precious. You think it's valuable. You think it's rare. You're afraid to even breathe on the glass. It's the same diamond, but its perceived value has been transformed by its presentation, its scarcity, its inaccessibility. It's the same with people. It is exactly the same with you. If you are always saying yes to everyone, if you are always online and available 24/7, if you are the one who always texts first, who always initiates contact, who always has to make the plans, if you are always free whenever someone wants to hang out, if you are always dropping everything, your work, your goals, your sleep, to help others who wouldn't do the same for you, if you are always there, no matter how they treat you, then slowly, gradually, without you even noticing, your value drops in their eyes. People, by their very nature, start thinking subconsciously, "He'll always be there. She always says yes. I can call him at 2 a.m. and he'll pick up. I can ignore her for a week, then send one text and she'll be happy to hear from me. I can treat him badly and he'll still show up. I can cancel our plans last minute because something better came along and she'll just say, 'It's okay.' I can take him for granted because he never sets boundaries." That is the moment you stop being respected. That is the moment you stop being valued. That is when you become background noise in other people's lives. That is when you become an option instead of a priority. That is when you become someone they use when it's convenient, but forget when it's not. Being too nice, being too helpful, being too available, being too accommodating. It looks like kindness from the outside. It looks like generosity. It looks like being a good friend, a good partner, a good employee, a good person. But often, it is just self-destruction, wearing a mask of virtue. It is self-betrayal disguised as selflessness. It is the slow, agonizing erosion of your own worth in the name of making others comfortable, others who are not concerned with your comfort. Because here's the truth that might hurt but will liberate you. If you don't give importance to yourself, no one else will. If you don't protect your time, no one else will protect it for you. If you don't value your energy, no one else will treat it as precious. If you don't set boundaries, people will walk all over you, wipe their feet, and call it friendship. If you don't say no, your yes becomes meaningless. If you are available for everyone, you are valuable to no one. I know this is hard to accept. Maybe you were raised to be a people pleaser. Maybe you were taught that saying no is rude, selfish, or arrogant. Maybe you're afraid that if you're not always there, people will forget about you. Maybe you fear that if you set boundaries, you'll lose relationships, you'll be alone. But let me tell you something that will change your perspective forever. You are right. You will lose relationships, but you will lose the wrong ones. You will lose the parasitic relationships. You will lose the people who were only there because you were easy to use. And in their place, you will create a space, a vacuum, that can only be filled by people who respect your time, who admire your boundaries, who value your presence. In reality, saying no is how you protect your value. Being less available is how you create space for respect. Setting boundaries is how you teach people, this is the line. This is how you must treat me. This is the price of admission to my life. Choosing yourself is how you show others that you are worth choosing. Protecting your time is how you demonstrate that your time is worth protecting. And when you make yourself rare, you make yourself memorable. What does this mean practically? It means you don't always reply to messages instantly. You are not a customer service hotline. You are building an empire. You are working. You are focused. Finish what you're doing. Respond when it's convenient for you. You are demonstrating that your attention has value and must be earned, not demanded. This doesn't mean ignoring people for days. That's just a game. It means responding on your schedule, not theirs. It means you don't always say yes to plans you don't actually want to do. You stop saying, I don't know maybe, when you mean no. You stop doing things out of obligation and start doing things out of intention. You stop showing up to places where your presence isn't valued and start investing that time in spaces where you are appreciated, starting with yourself. It means you don't let people waste your energy with meaningless gossip, drama, complaints, and negativity. When someone tries to drag you into toxic conversations, you politely disengage. I have to get back to work. I'm not comfortable talking about this. I have a deadline. Your energy is precious. Your mental space is valuable. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. It means you don't show up for people who never show up for you. This one is crucial. If someone only calls when they need something, stop being their emergency service. If someone only remembers you when they're bored or lonely, stop being their entertainment. If someone takes and never gives, stop being their resource. Reciprocity is the foundation of respect. Without it, you're not in a relationship. You're being used. This leads us to the next critical layer of your transformation. This is the engine. The first principle was about protecting your value. This one is about building it. Stop seeking attention and start demanding respect through competence. Let me ask you this. Why do we crave attention? Why do we post our lives on social media? Why do we check for likes, comments, and shares? Why do we feel the need to tell everyone our plans, our goals, our new ideas, our new diet, our new business venture, before we've even started? The answer is simple. We seek attention because we lack respect, starting with respect for ourselves. We seek validation from the outside because we have not built a foundation of competence on the inside. We seek applause from the crowd because we haven't earned the respect of the person in the mirror. Attention is cheap. It's temporary. It's a drug. You get a hit of it, you feel good for 5 minutes, and then you crash, leaving you needing more, needing a bigger hit, a more extreme post, a louder announcement. Respect is currency. Respect is permanent. Respect is a fortress. It's built brick by brick, in the dark, through hard work, and it protects you for a lifetime. Attention is given to the loudest person in the room. Respect is given to the wisest, the most skilled, the most capable person in the room. And very often, that person is the quietest. Think of a lion. A lion does not need to roar all day long to prove it is a lion. It doesn't need to post pictures of its claws. It doesn't need to tell the jungle, "I am the king." Its very presence is enough. Its silence is more powerful than 1,000 barks from 1,000 dogs. Its competence in the hunt, its undeniable power, its sheer existence. That is what commands respect. Meanwhile, the barking dog is just making noise. It's running in circles. It's yapping. "Look at me. Look at me. I'm here. I matter." It's seeking attention. But when the lion walks by, the dog goes silent. Why? Because attention collapses in the presence of real, undeniable competence. Many of you are living your lives like that barking dog. You're making noise. You're telling everyone, "I'm going to start a business." You're telling everyone, "I'm going to get in shape." You're telling everyone, "I'm going to write a book." You're seeking attention for the intention, not the result. And what happens? People give you that cheap attention. They say, "Wow, good for you. Good luck. That's amazing." And you feel good. Your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. And in that moment, your brain, in its tragic efficiency, confuses the applause for the announcement with the achievement of the goal. You've gotten the reward without doing the work. And so your motivation to actually do the hard, painful, silent work disappears. And then what happens when you fail? What happens when that business is harder than you thought? What happens when you miss a day at the gym? What happens when you get writer's block? You don't just fail privately, where you can learn, adjust, and try again. You fail publicly. You fail in front of all the people you told. And now, on top of the pain of failure, you feel the crushing weight of shame, embarrassment, and judgment. And so you quit. You hide. You stop trying. And you've just proven to yourself and the world that you are a talker, not a doer. But let me tell you about the other path. The path of the lion. The path of the craftsman. The path of the builder. On this path, you work in silence. You don't tell anyone your goals. You don't post about your new project. You don't seek validation for your effort. You wake up before the sun. You work while others are sleeping. You study while others are scrolling. You practice while others are partying. You build, brick by brick, in the darkness, in obscurity, in silence. You become obsessed with the process, not the applause. You fall in love with the work, not the validation. You focus on one thing and one thing only, becoming so good they can't ignore you. You become so skilled that your work speaks for itself. You become so knowledgeable that your insights are undeniable. You become so competent that your presence changes the entire dynamic of the room. You don't have to ask for respect. You don't have to beg for a seat at the table. Your competence demands it. Your skills command it. Your results make it inevitable. Respect is the byproduct of competence. It is the shadow that mastery casts. The most powerful people in the world, the true masters of their craft, they don't move loudly. They move in silence. They don't announce their moves. They just appear on the chessboard, and it's already checkmate. By the time you hear about them, they've already won. The company is already built. The book is already written. The masterpiece is already complete. The world is shocked. They say, "Where did this come from? How did they do this?" It came from the silence. It came from the work you didn't see. It came from the thousands of hours of practice, failure, and refinement when nobody was watching, nobody was clapping, and nobody even knew their name. You are not a performer whose job is to get applause. You are a warrior whose job is to win the war. You are not a social media influencer whose value is in their likes. You are a craftsman whose value is in their skill. You are not a talker. You are a builder. You are not a dreamer. You are an architect. And architects don't just talk about the building. They draw the blueprints. They lay the foundation. They build the damn thing. In the mud, in the rain, in the cold, when no one is there to cheer them on. So what does this mean practically? How do you implement this rule today? First, you go on a talking fast. For the next 30 days, you do not tell anyone your big goals. Not your friends, not your family, not your social media. Your goals are sacred. Protect them. Keep them secret. Let them be your private fire that you feed in silence. Second, you pick one skill. Just one. Not 10. Not 5. One. The one skill that if you became a master at it would completely transform your value. It could be coding, writing, speaking, selling, designing a musical instrument, anything. And for the next 90 days, you become obsessed with it. You dedicate 60 minutes every single day, no excuses, to practicing that skill. In silence, in private. Third, you redirect your desire for validation. Every time you feel the urge to post on social media, to check your phone, to tell someone what you're doing, you use that urge as a trigger to work. Feel the urge to post? Good. Go practice your skill for 15 minutes instead. Feel the urge to talk about your idea? Good. Go write down one page of your business plan instead. You retrain your brain to seek the reward of progress, not the reward of attention. Fourth, you change your answer. When people ask you, "What have you been up to?" you don't give them a long speech about your plans. You give them a simple, boring, humble answer. "Oh, just working. Just learning some new things. Just trying to get better." You stay quiet. You remain mysterious. You let them wonder. Let your silence create curiosity. Let your presence feel different. People will start to notice something has changed about you, but they won't know what. Your energy is different. Your focus is sharper. Your words are fewer, but they have more weight. You stop being the person who talks about all the things they're going to do. You become the person who has done them. You don't chase attention. You don't need it, because you are too busy building a legacy. You are too busy mastering your craft. You are too busy becoming so competent, so skilled, and so valuable that respect is the only logical response to your presence. That is the power of competence. That is the path to real, lasting, undeniable value. And this brings us to the hardest truth of all, the one that separates the builders from the victims. You cannot build competence if you are busy complaining. You cannot work in silence if your mouth is full of excuses. This is the great filter. Stop complaining about the game and start learning the rules. Stop complaining about the rain and start learning how to build an ark. This is the mindset of the victim versus the mindset of the victor. The victim says, "The world is unfair." The victor says, "The world is unfair. Good. That means there's an opportunity." The victim says, "It's not my fault." The victor says, "Everything is my fault." The victim says, "The game is rigged." The victor says, "Then I will learn how to rig it in my favor." Complaining is the most destructive habit you can have. It is an addiction. It's a prayer to a god of weakness. It's you begging the universe to confirm your powerlessness. And the universe always listens. When you complain, you are programming your own brain to find problems, not solutions. You are training yourself to be a spotter of injustice, not a creator of justice. You become a professional critic, and critics build nothing. They sit on the sidelines of life and throw rocks at the people who are actually in the arena, people who are building, failing, and trying again. But the cost is even higher than that. Complaining is not just a sign of weakness, It is a repellent for strength. High-value people, successful people, builders, lions, they cannot stand complaining. They see it as a virus. It's a black hole of energy. When a complainer walks into the room, the energy drops. When you complain to a high-value person, they don't hear your words. They hear an alarm. They hear, "This person is a victim. This person doesn't take responsibility. This person will blame me when things go wrong. This person is a drain." And they will quietly, politely, and permanently remove themselves from your life. You will be left with no one but other complainers, a small, bitter circle of victims, all sitting together, validating each other's excuses, wondering why the world is passing them by. You must choose. You can be a complainer, or you can be a winner. You cannot be both. From this day forward, you must adopt a mindset of radical accountability. This is the idea that everything in your life is your responsibility. Not your fault, but your responsibility. The distinction is crucial. It's not your fault that it's raining, but it's your responsibility to bring an umbrella. It's not your fault that someone cut you off in traffic, but it's your responsibility to control your reaction. It's not your fault that you were born into certain circumstances, but it is 100% your responsibility to decide what you do about it. The moment you stop blaming your parents, your boss, your partner, the government, the economy, your genetics, is the moment you reclaim your power. As long as someone else is to blame, you have no power to change. You are a puppet. But the moment you say, "I am responsible," you become the master. You become the architect. What does this look like in practice? It means you go on a complaint fast. For the next 24 hours, you are not allowed to utter a single complaint. Not out loud, not in your head. And you will be shocked at how difficult this is. You will be amazed at how many times a day your brain automatically defaults to blame and negativity. When you catch yourself, you stop. You don't judge, you just stop. And you reframe. Instead of, "The traffic is terrible," you say, "I should have left 15 minutes earlier. I will plan better tomorrow." Instead of, "My boss doesn't appreciate me," you say, "I need to become so skilled that my value is undeniable, either here or somewhere else." Instead of, "I'm so tired," you say, "I need to fix my sleep schedule." You stop being a thermometer, passively reflecting the temperature of the room. You become a thermostat, setting the temperature. This single shift, from blame to responsibility, is the foundation upon which all other value is built. Without it, you will sabotage every effort. You will undermine every success. You will find a way to fail just to prove your excuse is right. But with it, you become unstoppable. You become a learner, not a victim. You see failures not as a judgment, but as data. You see obstacles not as stop signs, but as opportunities to prove your competence. You stop complaining about the game, and you start winning it. And now that you have stopped complaining, now that you have taken responsibility, you have cleared the mental space to build your character. This is where we must confront a dangerous lie society has told you. Stop being a nice person and start being a good person. You think they are the same thing. They are not. In fact, they are often the exact opposite. What does it mean to be nice? Nice is a performance. Nice is a survival mechanism. Nice is about avoiding conflict. Nice is smiling when you are angry. Nice is saying yes when you mean no. Nice is being a people pleaser, a doormat, a chameleon who changes colors to match the room. Terrified of being disliked. Terrified of rejection. Terrified of making a wave. Your niceness is not a virtue. It is a form of manipulation. You are being nice to get something. You are being nice to get approval. You are being nice to avoid a fight. You are being nice so people will like you. It is inauthentic. It is weak. And the world can smell it. People don't respect nice people. They use nice people. Nice people are the ones who get overlooked for promotions, the ones who end up in the friend zone, the ones who do everyone's work and get none of the credit, the ones who are quietly seething with resentment while smiling and saying, "It's no problem." Niceness is the camouflage of a coward. Now, what does it mean to be a good person? A good person is not concerned with being liked. A good person is concerned with doing what is right. A good person operates from a code, a set of internal values, a non-negotiable standard. A good person is honest, even when the truth is uncomfortable. A good person has a backbone. A good person will tell you no, not to be mean, but because their yes actually means something, and they cannot commit. A good person can be dangerous. A good person will defend their values, their family, their principles, and they will not be nice about it. A good person is respected, not just liked. And in the long run, respect is infinitely more valuable than likability. Niceness is common. It's cheap. It's everywhere. You can't build value on something that is common. Goodness, true integrity, the courage to be authentic, that is rare. And because it is rare, it is valuable. People will not always like a good person, but they will always know where they stand. They will trust them. They will seek their advice. They will build businesses with them. They will rely on them. Your value skyrockets when you stop trying to please the crowd and start trying to please your own internal code of honor. So, what does this mean for you? It means you stop trying to be liked by everyone. It means you identify your top 3 values. Are they honesty, discipline, loyalty, courage? Whatever they are, you write them down. And from now on, you make your decisions based on those values, not on what will cause the least friction or make you the most popular. It means you must be willing to say the difficult truth, to yourself and to others. It means you must be willing to be the bad guy in someone else's story, if it means upholding your standard. This is how you build a reputation for integrity. And a reputation for integrity is one of the highest, most undeniable forms of human value. Building this good character, this competent self, requires a massive investment. Not an investment of money, but an investment of your most precious, non-renewable resources, your time and your focus. This leads us to the next law. Stop consuming and start creating. Let this sink in. You are not a human being. You are a human consumer. Your entire identity has been shaped by what you consume. You are a product of the shows you watch, the social media feeds you scroll, the news you absorb, the music you listen to, the other people's opinions you internalize. Your brain is a bucket, and you spend your entire day from the moment you wake up and grab your phone, just letting the world pour junk into it. And then you wonder why you feel empty. You wonder why you have no original thoughts. You wonder why you're anxious and distracted. You are what you eat, and you are feasting on garbage. Look at your mind as a garden. Right now, you are letting anyone and everyone throw weeds, rocks, and poison into your garden. And then you complain that you have no flowers. You complain that you have no fruit. You cannot build value as a consumer. It is impossible. Consumption is passive. Consumption is easy. Consumption is a state of weakness. Creation is active. Creation is hard. Creation is a state of power. You say you don't have time to build your skill, to start your business, to go to the gym, to write your book, but you have time to watch a 3-hour movie. You have time to scroll for 90 minutes on TikTok. You have time to binge an entire season of a show in one weekend. You don't have a time problem. You have a consumption problem. The world is divided into two types of people: consumers and creators. The consumers are sold to. The creators do the selling. The consumers are the product. The creators are the business. The consumers are poor in time, money, and focus. The creators are rich in all three. You must, starting today, fundamentally shift your identity from one to the other. And creation is not just art. You don't have to be a painter or a musician. Creation is any act that moves you from 0 to 1, from idea to reality. Writing an email to a potential client is creation. Writing a single line of code is creation. Doing one set of push-ups is creation. Recording a 1-minute video sharing your ideas is creation. Planning your week is creation. It is any act of production rather than consumption. Every hour you spend consuming, your value goes down, or at best, stays static. Every hour you spend creating, your value compounds. What is the practical step? You must do a consumption audit. Tonight, before you go to bed, look at your phone's screen time report. Be honest. Be horrified. Look at the hours. 2 hours on Instagram, 1 hour on YouTube, 30 minutes on the news. That is 3.5 hours of your life. Gone, vanished, in exchange for nothing. Now, you will implement a creator's hour. I don't care who you are, you have 1 hour. It can be from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. It can be during your lunch break. It can be from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. But for 1 hour, every single day, you are a creator. No phone, no email, no distractions, just you and the work. You write, you build, you design, you plan, you practice your skill. You will be astonished at what happens. This 1 hour of focused creation will be more productive, more valuable, and do more for your self-respect than 8 hours of distracted, passive, busy work. For 1 hour, you are not a consumer. You are a creator, and you are building your value 1 minute at a time. Now, this path is not easy. It is not supposed to be. Being less available is uncomfortable. Working in silence while your friends are out partying is uncomfortable. Saying no to people you care about is uncomfortable. Turning off your phone for an hour to create is extremely uncomfortable. Your brain will scream at you. It will crave the easy dopamine hit of consumption. It will beg for the comfort of the familiar. This is the great battle, and it brings us to our next principle. You must stop seeking comfort, and you must start seeking discomfort. Your entire life, every decision you've ever made, has been a subconscious search for comfort. The warm bed, the easy, processed food, the familiar, boring job that you hate but won't leave, the predictable, safe conversations. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to keep you safe. And in the modern world, safe means comfortable. But here is the brutal truth. All growth, all progress, all success, all value exists in one place and one place only, outside your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is a cage. It's a beautiful, warm, soft, padded cell, but it is still a prison. It keeps you safe, but it keeps you small. Your value in this world is determined by the size of the problems you are willing to solve. And you cannot solve big, valuable problems from inside your comfortable cage. You must rewire your brain. You must change your relationship with discomfort. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your guide. Discomfort is the compass needle pointing north. It is pointing you directly toward growth. That feeling of fear in your stomach when you're about to speak in public, that's the compass. That feeling of resistance your body gives you before you go to the gym on a cold morning. That's the compass. That feeling of, I'm not good enough, or I'm a fraud, right before you practice your skill. That is the compass, screaming at you, this is it. This is where the treasure is buried. Dig here. A person who avoids discomfort will remain small, weak, and low value for their entire life. A person who seeks discomfort will become a warrior. Your new goal in life is not to be happy or be comfortable. Your new goal is to be capable, and capability is forged only in the fire of discomfort. You must become a person who seeks voluntary hardship, because if you only do easy things, life will be hard. But if you do hard things, life will become easy. What does this look like in practice? Every single day, you must do one thing that you do not want to do. One voluntary discomfort. It can be small. Take a cold shower for 60 seconds. When you're at the gym, do that extra set that makes you want to quit. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than you want to. Send that sales email you're afraid to send. Every time you win that battle against your own weakness, against your own desire for comfort, you build a new identity. You cast a vote for a new you. The you who does hard things, the you who is disciplined, the you who is resilient. And the world, I promise you, always makes way for the person who does hard things. Discomfort is the price of admission to a high-value life, and it is a price you must be willing to pay every single day. And as you pay that price, as you start doing the hard things, something else from your old life will try to pull you back. It's your shadow. It's your history. It is the story you tell yourself about who you are. This brings us to the next law. Stop talking about your past and start building your future. Many of you are trapped, not by your present circumstances, but by the prison of your past. You define yourself by it. You use it as an excuse. I can't be successful because my family was poor. I can't trust people because I was betrayed. I can't start a business because I failed before. Or just as dangerously, you are trapped by past success. I was the best in my high school. I had a great idea 5 years ago. You are a living museum to a person who no longer exists. Let me be clear. The world does not care about your past. It doesn't care about your scars, your old trophies, your past failures, or your good old days. It only cares about the value you can provide right now, today. Your past is a liability. Your story is an anchor. Every time you tell it, you are reinforcing an old identity. You are strengthening the chains that keep you tied to the person you no longer want to be. You must become a ghost. You must have amnesia about the person who was weak, who was lazy, who was a victim, who was nice. That person is dead. Today is day one. Your value is not determined by your history. It is determined by your habits. It is determined by your actions today. The person you are becoming is infinitely more valuable than the person you have been. So, what does this mean practically? It means you stop telling your victim stories. You stop reminiscing about the good old days. You stop using your past as a justification for your present inaction. When your brain brings up a memory of a past failure, you say, "Thank you for sharing," and you get back to work. When people ask you about your past, you give them a simple answer. It doesn't matter. What matters is what we are building now. You must be willing to kill the you of yesterday to give birth to the you of tomorrow. Your new identity is not based on where you came from. It is based entirely on where you are going and the work you are willing to put in right now to get there. As you start to build this new future, as you become a creator, as you seek discomfort, As your value begins to rise, you will face a new, more dangerous problem: the people around you. This leads to one of the most painful but necessary rules. Stop associating with low-value people and start protecting your energy. You cannot build a high-value life with low-value connections. It is impossible. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is not a cute motivational quote. It is a terrifying mathematical reality. If you are surrounded by people who complain, you will become a complainer. If you are surrounded by people who are lazy and seek comfort, you will become lazy and seek comfort. If you are surrounded by people who have no ambition, who gossip, who consume, who have a victim mindset, your own ambitions will be choked and killed. These people are anchors. They are energy vampires. They are crabs in a bucket, and the moment they see you trying to climb out, they will pull you back down. Not always because they are evil, but often because your growth is a mirror. It reflects their inaction. It exposes their excuses. It makes them uncomfortable. And to protect their own fragile comfort, they will sabotage you. They will say, "You've changed." They will say, "You're not fun anymore." They will say, "Who do you think you are? Why are you working so hard? Just relax." They are poisoning your new identity. You must, I repeat, you must have the courage to protect your environment. This is not about arrogance. It is about survival. You cannot build a skyscraper in a swamp. You must drain the swamp first. This means you must be willing to be lonely. You must be willing to let go of friendships and relationships that are no longer aligned with the person you are becoming. This will be the hardest part of your journey. It will be painful, but it is necessary. What does this mean in practice? It means you start doing an audit of your relationships. For every person you spend time with, ask yourself, does this person inspire me, or do they drain me? Does this person talk about ideas, or do they talk about people? Does this person hold me to a higher standard, or do they encourage my weaknesses? And then you must make hard choices. It means you must spend less time with anchors and more time alone, working on yourself, your own company, your own focus, your own work is infinitely more valuable than the company of people who are pulling you down. As your value increases, your circle will get smaller, but its quality will skyrocket. You will eventually attract other lions. You will find other builders, but you will never meet them if your life is still full of hyenas. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. Protect your future. This is non-negotiable. And this brings us to the final, ultimate principle, the one that ties everything together. You have stopped being available. You have started working in silence. You have taken responsibility. You have chosen to be good over nice. You are creating more than you consume. You are seeking discomfort. You are letting go of your past. You have cleared your life of low-value anchors. Now what? You are at the final door. And the rule is this: stop hoping for a miracle and start becoming one. Stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting to be discovered. Stop waiting for a lucky break, for the lottery ticket, for the one phone call that will change your life. Stop waiting for someone to come and save you. No one is coming. This is the greatest, most liberating truth. No one is coming. There is no miracle on the horizon. There is no external event. There is no magic pill. There is only you. You are the miracle. You are the one you have been waiting for. You are the hero. You are the savior. You are the lucky break. You are the one who will choose yourself. You are the one who will discover yourself. You are the one who will save yourself. All the rules, all the principles, they all boil down to this one moment of decision. The decision to stop being a passive spectator in your own life and to become the 100% active, driving, undeniable force. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are the creator of your circumstances. You are not a leaf in the wind. You are the wind. You are not a character in the story. You are the author. And today, you pick up the pen. You become the one. You become the person who is so disciplined, so competent, so valuable, so rare, that your success becomes a foregone conclusion. You become the person whose work ethic is so insane. People call it a miracle. You become the person whose integrity is so pure. People call it a miracle. You become the person whose value is so undeniable. The world has no choice but to stop, to pay attention, and to make space for you. You don't hope for success. You become success. You don't hope for respect. You become respectable. You don't hope for value. You become valuable. So there they are, the principles of your transformation. I told you this wasn't going to be soft. I told you it wasn't comfortable. This is the hardest work you will ever do. It is a lonely path of silence, discipline, and relentless self-improvement. It is a war waged against your own weakness, your own comfort, your own past. But the alternative is to go back to the person you were, to be invisible, to be ignored, to be average, to be unappreciated, to feel that quiet desperation as the world passes you by. That is not you. Not anymore. The fact that you have listened to this entire message, the fact that your heart is beating faster right now, the fact that something inside you is saying yes, that tells me you are different. You are a builder. You are an architect. You are a lion. The old you, the one who was too available, the one who chased attention, the one who complained, the one who was nice, that person died today. Your new identity, the one who is rare, the one who is competent, the one who is responsible, the one who is a creator, the one who is a warrior, the one who is an undeniable force. That person was born in this moment. Now, the time for listening is over. The time for motivation is over. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is forever. Close this video. Stop consuming and start building. The work begins now. Your new life begins now.